right. Well, welcome to Marin Interfaith Council's monthly meditation. And tonight we have Leili First, who is a Sufi, who studies in the Sufi tradition. And I'll tell a little bit more about her in a second, but I wanted to make a couple announcements. Next month, we will have Sister Pat Farrell, who is a Roman Catholic nun and also practices Buddhism. So join us for that meditation. It is on March 12th, exactly a month away, because we're in the 28-day month. March 12th, it's at 5:30 in a month. And next week we have, for those of you who are interested, we are hosting through the Marin, we're co-hosting with two different denominations, a Zoom workshop for how congregations can support their migrant neighbors, which is a very relevant topic for today. Unfortunately, nothing we want to really be talking about, but something we do need to talk about. So if you would like to join us, if you're on our newsletter, there is a flyer in the newsletter. It's also on our website, and there will be another constant contact coming out soon. So you're welcome to join us then. But if you ever have any trouble registering or anything, just contact me and I will get you where you need to be. All right, so let me say a little bit about Leili and then I'll hand it over to her. Leili First is a student of Uwaisyi Sufism and a longtime member of the International Association of Sufism and the Sufi Women Organization. She has given lectures on Sufism at colleges and university and presented at the annual Sufism Symposium and Parliament of the World's Religions. Leili served on the MIC board from around 2008 to 2003 to 2008, and then again for a second time from 2014 until June of 2021. So it was so nice to have you back with us leading a meditation, and I will hand it off to you. You can unmute yourself, I think. There you go. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for that nice introduction, Lynn, and thanks to all of you for coming tonight. I really want to share my gratitude for this opportunity to share with you some of the teachings and practice that has been so precious to me in these many, many years, more than 30 years, more than 35 probably by now, of my life, and have created, I think, me as I am now. And I'd like to thank particularly my teachers who are in Marin, Sere Dr. Nahid Anga and Shanazar Sayed Dr. Ali Kyampar, who are Uwaisyi Sufi masters and very, very wise and very much devoted to serving humanity. So as usual, I do see familiar faces and new faces, but probably most of you have attended these Wednesday meditations from time to time, and always they are focused on respect for our own self and for others, and respect of our privacy, so that whatever goes on during the meditation time, and especially I think the recording is cut off at the question and answer time, so that that can remain private and you can feel free to speak up if you wish, if you have any questions or comments, and you are free to participate as you wish. If you are here more as an observer, that's fine. If you would like to engage with the practice, that is also very welcome. And I will apologize in advance. I've ended up with another commitment right at the end of our time together. So I will be closing just a couple of minutes early to make sure I can get there on time and allow you all to be on time for anything else you may have scheduled, including just enjoying this beautiful evening before the storm comes. So in these days, especially, there's so much stuff going on. There's probably a lot of stuff going on that troubles us or that we don't agree with. And we are very blessed to have made a decision to take this short time together where each of us decided to focus on our own spirituality. So for this hour or so that we have together, I invite us all to let go of everything that's outside of ourselves, which is really everything. And let us use this time to return to a place of peace and tranquility, safety and wisdom within our own selves. Dr. Kyonfor has taught, in the heart of every human being is a direct connection with God. Our greatest blessing comes in discovering this. Dr. Anga has taught, in Sufism, the law of meditation follows the essential rule of self-discovery, and that happens when a seeker is attracted and attuned towards the divine. So just briefly, as some of you may not be familiar with Sufism, what is Sufism? It is the inner path of Islam, and so the Quran is our holy book. It is the holy book of Islam and Sufism. So Sufis, like all Muslims, regard Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as well as the prophets and holy books, especially in the Abrahamic monotheistic tradition, which includes Judaism and Christianity. And these we regard as holy, sacred, divine. And Sufis in particular have a great respect for any holy book, all holy books, all divine teachings, teachings that come directly from the source. So, as an inner mystical path, Sufi teachings focus on the essence of a being, especially a human being, which is the reality of the self, rather than the appearance or manifestation in the world of nature. Sufis also understand that religion is the fact of a human being, and it has no label. I'd like to share a verse from the Holy Quran and focus on this teaching tonight. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is from Surah 98, verse 5. And they have been commanded no more than this, to worship Allah, offering Him sincere devotion, being true in faith, to establish regular prayer, and to practice regular charity. And that is the religion, right and straight. Let me repeat that. And they have been commanded no more than this, to worship Allah, offering Him sincere devotion, being true in faith, to establish regular prayer, and to practice regular charity. And that is the religion, right and straight. So in Islam and in Sufism, the Creator is known by the name Allah. But this is just a label, and we could substitute other names or labels in this verse. We might say God, or Creator, or Source, or Essence. In the description of science, of the beginning of everything we see, there's a description known as the Big Bang, where everything that exists begins with what they call a singularity, which we might visualize as a point. And in the language of religion, that point of beginning is the essence, or the source, or the creator, or we might call God. or Allah. So the descriptions and the outcome are very similar between science and religion. And I think what appeals to me especially about this verse is that it gives what for Sufis is the definition and purpose of religion. Even though it is brief and on the surface it seems simple, we all know from life experience that it's not easy. What this verse tells us is that the essence or creator expects of us human beings is to dedicate ourselves to the truth of this essence, which is within our own selves. And that we must do this constantly and consistently. Ideally, we focus our attention on the essence within ourselves and recognize this same essence within all beings in creation. We honor and respect our own selves and all of creation. So I know we speak sometimes of being a child of God. People of many faith traditions talk about that in those words or similar words. And this teaching is telling us that, yes, I am a child of God. I carry within my own self this divine essence. And then when I look at our little Zoom screen and I see the little boxes with each one of you in it, I know that each one of you also carries this divine essence, same as I do. And you have the same access to your own self and your own connection to this essence, same as I do. And even my cats, they carry some portion of divine essence. And the flowers, I have a nice little vase of flowers near me. They also are part of the divine essence. And the teaching for Sufis, this is the meaning of religion. And the purpose of religion is to not be so distracted by all the temptations of every day, the beautiful flowers, my sweet soft kitties, the joy I get in talking with all of you, the dinner I'm going to have later, the fire I'm going to put in my fireplace. Also, the bad stuff too, the tension I feel when I listen to the news. Click, turn it off. That I don't get so distracted by all of that that I forget my own true essence and miss my opportunity during my own lifetime to connect with the essence in myself, to connect with the eternal divine. So, let me just repeat after that brief discussion. Let me repeat the verse one more time. And they in this verse is us, human beings. And they have been commanded no more than this, to worship Allah, offering Him sincere devotion, being true in faith, to establish regular prayer, and to practice regular charity. And that is the religion, right and straight. So this is why I gave the title for today's meditation, Seeking Closeness to Essence, because that is the goal for Sufi meditation, is to find the connection point within our own self, which is within our heart, to find that point of connection, to make the connection, and to discover the essence of the eternal reality within my own self, as that connects me directly with the essence or God. So, looking at the goal of meditation, especially if you frequently come to these meditation sessions on Wednesday evenings, which I think are wonderful, by the way. Thank you, Lynn and Uwaisyi, for doing this. I think it is so wonderful to share among various traditions our ways of making ourselves quiet and going within. So there's lots of different ways of meditation, and there are lots of different goals of meditation. And my own view on it is that they're all useful. They're all good. If it brings you peace, if it brings you solitude, if it lowers your blood pressure, if it makes you more patient and tolerant of those with whom you don't agree, these are all good things. For Sufi meditation in particular, the goal is to connect within my heart. And there is actually what I look for when I meditate, according to this practice. I'm looking for that light, the spark, the spot, the pinpoint of divine light, which is my connection. And that is the goal of the practice of Sufi meditation. And that I would bring you back to the quote from Dr. Kyungfar that I gave at the beginning. In the heart of every human being is a direct connection with God. Our greatest blessing comes in discovering this. And meditation is the practice that Sufis use to discover this. So, for a Sufi practicing meditation, the most important things that are needed are, number one, a longing heart that, like I feel thirst, if I am on a hot day and I've been working outside or walking or whatever I've been doing, and I really, really am thirsty, that's a longing. And I want the water. I want the glass of water. That kind of longing within the heart to know the truth of who I am. That's the longing that's needed for success for Sufi meditation. A very deep longing that rises up from your heart, not something really you can even talk about. It's too big, too deep to talk about. It's something you can't deny, and you can't live without doing something, without reaching for that spiritual glass of water. So it is a very deep longing. And one of the teachings I love that I've heard from an ancient Sufi, if you're feeling that longing, don't ask that your thirst be quenched. Don't pray for your thirst to be quenched. Pray for more thirst. Pray for greater longing, because it is that longing that brings you the energy that will give you the power that you need to make that connection. So that's the first necessity for a practitioner of the Sufi meditation. And the other necessity for, you don't need this tonight to preliminary practice, but for a long-term practice, you need a guide. You need a teacher. The guide is one who's traveled the path before you. So it is a person who is a Sufi master, someone who knows the way of the path of the connection and the divine traveling, the spiritual traveling, and can help you get there without problems, without issues. Um, Another one of my favorite teachings is about our brilliant minds. And I think in our society, we put so much emphasis on logic and our mental capabilities. And I know that was true for my childhood and growing up. And oh, I got all my A's in school and I did math and science and languages and all kinds of things. And it was my mind that was most important. And one of the biggest transformations for me on this path is understanding that my value, my essence, is not in my mind, it is in my heart. And the path of spirituality, that kind of traveling, that essence, that way of knowing, is closed to the mind. The mind can't get there. I can think about it, I can talk about it with all of you, but it won't get me there. Talking about water, I can spell it for you, I can pronounce it, I know what it looks like. You all know what it looks like. It doesn't quench my thirst. It doesn't, talking about water doesn't carry the meaning of water. The mind cannot comprehend the spiritual existence, the essence of life. So I need to release my mind, let it rest for a little bit. Go into my heart, let my heart be in control, and let it work together with my mind. Let my mind serve the master of the heart instead of the other way around. So, the teacher helps protect us against our brilliant minds, helps to separate when it's our imagination conjuring up images and when we're really making the connection. So, even though it's not that difficult to explain, it is a lifetime to accomplish this connection. So do not feel that you should expect yourself to connect with that light tonight in 10 or 15 minutes. You may, but you may not. And that's okay. So if we're ready to start, I would like to lead you in a brief heartbeat meditation. Sufis concentrate our energy into our heart and think of your physical heart in your body for meditation. And that's because this is where the point of connection is. And because on a physical level, for life in this world, life as we know it, the heartbeat is essential. Life begins with the heartbeat. I learned from one of my Sufi fellow students that it's something like 40 days after conception. It's very soon. The heart starts out as a tube which kind of wraps back on itself, and it simply starts beating. And there's no explanation for what causes that, which I just find that magical. That there is just a spark. It's like when you read in the story is expressed in the Bible, God gathering the dust to form the body of the human being and breathing into it life. That's what it reminds me of. And it's just a spark of light, spark of energy that starts that little miniature heart, unformed, but beginnings of a heart. That is the beginning of the formation of the whole human being. So it is the heart that is the first sign of life. And when we come to the end of our lives, which we know we all will someday, the end of life is marked by the end of the heartbeat. So during our time in this world, when we can hear our heartbeat, actually hear our heart beating, that's when we know for sure we're alive. So those are the reasons for Sufis that we concentrate on the heartbeat for our meditation practice. So if you would like to get yourself comfortable, and you're welcome to turn off your video if you would like, so that you can give yourself privacy and find a comfortable way to sit. And actually, I'm going to turn off my video, which I'm having an unstable connection. I hope you've been able to hear me okay, but turning off the video will also help with that. I'm going to walk us through a brief meditation. And I just gave my cuckoo clock a little short, brief meditation too. So for this meditation practice, you'll want to sit comfortably and with your back straight. So you may want to sit in your chair if you're in a chair, on the floor, wherever you're sitting. You can scoot your legs in underneath you, sit cross-legged, or keep them straight, whatever works for you, where you can be comfortable with your back straight. And generally, we do close our eyes for meditation practice to help you focus and concentrate, to release distractions. Also, you give yourself privacy from everything outside yourself. And if you're in a room with other people, you give everyone else privacy too. So, first, we'll want to start by preparing our mind and body to just release everything. Just for now. It's not going away, but it can be set aside for now. Our brilliant minds can just rest a little bit. If you're distracted by your mind during meditation, don't argue with it and don't blame yourself. That's perfectly normal. That's what the mind does for us. It's busy solving problems all the time. So acknowledge it and just release it. You can let your mind know that it can rest for now. There are no problems that need solving right now, but thank you for mentioning that. Go rest for now. Then we want to make sure our physical body is comfortable. We all get aches and pains, and we want to do our best to release those too, just for now. And if we're lucky, maybe they won't come back. So for now, let's just focus on our breathing, just comfortably. We're breathing in, and then we breathe out. And while we're breathing in, let us start from the top of our head, where a lot of us collect a lot of stresses and strains and little knots during the whole day. So let's breathe some nice, fresh, soothing, relaxing air and send it up to the top of our head, to our poor, tired brain. Give it some air. Give it oxygen. And let it circulate around, collect anything that needs to be released, and then release it. So we'll give our head a few breaths. I know sometimes I feel my head actually melting when I'm doing this. It just allows me to let go. So, moving on to our face. From the forehead through our eyes, our cheeks, our jaw, all the way down our face. A lot of strain collects there during the day, but we don't need to keep that. So breathe in, fresh air. Send it to your forehead. Send it to your eye sockets, and your cheeks, and your jaw. And as you breathe out, release any tension that you found. A lot of us hold tension in our neck and shoulders. So let's give them some attention. Breathe in, healing air. Send it to your neck. Send it to your shoulders. Let them relax. And breathe out any tension. in your arms, all the way from your shoulders to your fingertips. Breathe fresh air into your arms. Let that melt away any tension. And let that just flow right on out the tips of your fingers as you breathe out. Focus on your chest, your torso. Include your back. Breathe into this whole core of your body. Find any little knots or tension, anything that you're holding there that you don't need to hold on to. Breathe into it and let it release. Release all the tension. Release the world that's trying to keep you busy. Now move on down to your hips and your legs. Through your knees and ankles and all the way down to your toes. Find any tension that's there. Breathe into it. And then release it. Let go of all the tension. Now that you've released the tension in your body, and you've reassured your mind that it's okay to be quiet for a while, you're still sitting comfortably with your back straight. Now you'll want to gather all of your energy, the energy that you've scattered all around you all day long. All the attention you've given out. Now gather that energy, gather that attention, and bring it back into your own self. Gather it towards your chest. Gather all your energy towards your heart so you can focus all of your energy on your own heart. Now, listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heartbeat. If you become distracted and lose concentration, that's okay. Just come back and listen to your heartbeat. If you find it's hard to hear your heartbeat, you may try putting your hand over your heart. Sometimes that helps. Listen to your heartbeat. If you're having a hard time hearing your heartbeat, you might try holding your breath. Sometimes that helps. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heartbeat. And now, as we come out of this very brief meditation, just take a deep breath. Breathe into your entire body and release it. And another deep breath. And one more. And as you're ready, come back to our meditation circle. So we have a few minutes. Would anyone like to share